So in chapter 215 of Black Clover, a very big declaration was made by Julius Novachrono regarding Asta. He says that not only will, if we don't change up and fix up the Clover Kingdom, other nations will be able to destroy us, but also Asta will die. Very big words, and there's a lot of skepticism with a lot of people, including myself, regarding how much merit that weighs, considering the fact of, hey, Julius is the one telling us. Remember that whole very sad death that he had, which had a great logical explanation, but nevertheless, yeah, I guess let's talk about it before we go any further. You know, let's talk about it, mate.
Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like...
Now, yes, a big declaration was made from Julius in the latest chapter, or the last chapter, 215 of Black Clover, again, saying Asta's going to die. Now, a lot of things can be interpreted that way, because you gotta look at the sentence prior to that, where he says if we don't, restore the Clover Kingdom, that other nations will be able to destroy us, and Asta will die being the third thing of the three things that Julius basically proclaimed, regarding three things he had to say. That we don't have a Wizard King, I believe was or we need a new one, was the first one. Now, Asta will die. Let's be honest here, and it's something that it kind of sucks out a little bit of the enjoyment of it for me, to be honest with you, is that none of us believe it. None of us believe that Asta is going to die for a mere second. Not because of even necessarily that, hey, it's a shonen and it's the main character, because you never know, he could get balls deep and say, you know what, we're gonna plunge in and do whatever, and maybe he could flirt with Asta dying and being revived, some sort, like a la like I don't know, like Yusuke against Sensui or something. I don't want to put Black Clover that close to Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm just saying, but you know what I'm saying, maybe it could be something along the lines of that, but let's be honest, we don't believe it. Also because of what just happened. We got Julius coming back, we got Patri coming back. It seems like it kind of relegated a lot of like these major deaths that Julius looked like he died into nothing. Now again, Julius and Patri's deaths, they made sense in terms of how they were brought back. I personally really am not cool, or don't really enjoy the fact that Patri is back. Julius I'm cool with. I think it makes sense. I think it was dope that it was foreshadowed with the star on his forehead not being there and flashbacks and stuff like that. So totally fine there. But those things mainly suck out any possibility of us believing it. You can't believe when you flirt with death, going to fairy tale or whatever, when you constantly tease death and then bring characters back, nobody's gonna believe it. So especially coming off of, hey, we just got two characters that were supposed to be dead, and in fact Patri just died and then came right back, we're not gonna really buy it. So that's one of the major reasons where I'm looking at it like, okay, that was but then you gotta wonder, okay, why is he saying that? Now we know that Asta has that demon, and that was a huge foreshadowing, in my opinion, for what's to come. And I think maybe Julius knows a little bit about it. I think based on him, even though he was like out cold in a way, he's probably up to date somewhat in what happened with the devil, or maybe he knew all along about Asta having that devil around. So there's a possibility that there's a whole nation of demons. There's a possibility that Asta will be a target now as well, because if you got to think about it, and this is where I'm starting to wonder, is this what he's talking about? If there's a nation of demons, and this demon from a long time is potentially a legendary, maybe celebrated demon of some sort, and Asta was one of the main ones responsible, on top of that, his demon being one of the main ones responsible, it could very well mean that he's going to be a target of like, yo, you took out our dude, we're coming to get you and we're going to kill you. And that's one of the things that you could look at it as. And that's one of the options, because you think about it, let's just say a decorated celebrity is killed in our, world or whatever. People usually look at that person like, yo, you murdered our people, we want you dead. So that could be one of the reasons. Also, again, it could be the fact that Asta having that demon could potentially kill him. Something along the lines of, the more he uses that black magic, especially now we know at the end of this arc that just passed, Asta continued to even further transform using that magic. And maybe the reason why Asta will die is simply because he's using it too much, and eventually it will rip out of him, and it's kind of possibly an inspiration from something like Kurama coming out of Naruto. If you take out any of the tail beasts from the Jinchuriki in Naruto, they die. So that could be also another option. But all in all, I understand that at the end of the day why people are just like, don't believe it. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, go back again. I mentioned this in my review last week with Naruto, when Naruto said, if me and Sasuke clash, we're gonna die. We knew that was BS. Dragon Ball, they come back all the time. So there's just so many different things that kind of make that statement and the end of that chapter just be like, meh. Like, maybe some kids might believe it and be like, oh my god, but I hate stuff like that, to be honest with you, in a way where, like in Fairy Tail, you know, constantly people brought back. Again, I know, I'm not saying that Julius's revival was bad, so don't mistake me, but if you flirt with death and then bring characters back, regardless if it makes sense or not, it definitely starts to make you lack, or death in the series in general starts to lack any type of suspense and any type of emotional connection. Like, had Julius stayed dead, I might have said, that's a possibility. Had Patri and Julius stayed dead, it's a possibility. But the fact that both of them were just revived, regardless of how it was done, it sucks out the emotion. It kind of destroys any, I guess, thought that you may have that, hey, this is going to work. So I'm not that big a fan of it. I kind of just wanted to throw a little discussion out here talking about it, because I feel as though Asta dying just, it doesn't really have any, it doesn't grab me emotionally or anything like that. And I know maybe I'm overthinking it or whatever, and if that's the case, cool, but I just feel like, man, had we not have these revivals and we had this promise that Asta's gonna die, I might have been a little bit more into it. So with series like Dragon Ball, when Goku dies or whatever and shit like that, it's like, he'll be back, we got the Dragon Balls. And since Black Clover's already done that, I'd say one of the only aces in the hole that could kind of make up for it in a way, this promise that Asta will die, is we still have Patri, right? And I think Patri at some point does need to die. And not that, oh, he needs to die for, you know, because of what he's done, which, yeah, I think that too. But when Asta ultimately, inevitably does not die, if Patri sacrifices himself for Asta, I think that that would make up for it. I think that that would honestly change the perspective of things, because, okay, a character that he may have not died in that arc, but he stood around so that he could eventually give his life for Asta. And if you think about it, Asta was one of the main reasons that saved this guy from the darkness and kind of slapped him out to his senses. So him giving up his life to save Asta at some given point in the series would kind of be a nice trade. And I think that that would make up for the fact that we know Asta's not going to die, and it's kind of a stupid promise to get our hopes up, which, anybody that got your hopes up, don't do it. It's not gonna happen. He's not gonna die. Kind of curious what a lot of you guys think about this, though. First of all, does anybody out there believe Asta's gonna die? Also, do you feel as though if Asta doesn't die, but Patri ends up giving his life during the arc against maybe a demon or whatever, or the Diamond Kingdom, if they're the ones that are going to invade, will that make up for the fact that Asta doesn't die, even though Patri should have stayed dead? That's just my opinion. And do you think that it's going to be a nation of demons that is going to come for Asta's head, now that he's one of the main reasons why that demon was killed from history? Is there a nation of demons, for that matter? Or do you think there's a possibility that the demon in Asta, in his, you know, grimoire or whatever, is going to be the one that takes out Asta, and that's what Julius is talking about? Then again, also, how would Julius know any of this? Or did he know for a long time already that there was a demon surrounding Asta? And overall thoughts and expectations for the future of the Black Clover manga, honestly, it's kind of a shame, to be honest with you. It really is a shame that we had this major build up and there was a lot of good things. And again, I gotta say one more time for the people in the back, in case you ain't hear me, Julius's death makes sense. I'm not mad at it, but when you have a declaration like, hey, the main character is gonna die, on top of the fact that we already know it's a shonen manga and he's the main character, so the chances of him dying are very slim to none, it also just completely destroys any credibility when we just had two major deaths be reversed right in front of our eyes just a chapter or two ago. It almost feels like, Tabata, what are you doing? Is it that you feel so bad that fans are shitting on you because of some of this stuff, and you're deciding like, hey, I really will kill a character this time? Because other than that, it just feels like, I don't know, it's starting to make me look at things a certain way of like, at least kill off Patri. Patri in the next arc, give your life up. Somebody give their damn life up so that we can make something of it. It's not that I'm bloodthirsty or whatever, but I feel as though it needs to be a trade. Like, if you're going to promise something like this, somebody should die in place of Asta, because we know he's not going to die. Otherwise, it's Yuki Tabata going down a road that we do not want, and that is the fairy tale road. We do not want that. Julius was fine. Patri, I personally think that he should have stayed dead, and William Vengeance should have been stoned to death, but maybe that's just me. But yeah, your real thoughts. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Can't forget the music though. Hold on, let me play y'all a little something. I'm gonna play it while y'all ponder whether or not Asta's gonna die. Don't ponder too long.
You never gonna fly, even if you try. You never gonna ride. Gotta keep your head up, even if you cry. That's just one more reason to try. Waiting for karma to catch up. It's